Firefly is Adobe's generative AI tool. So it has a bunch of models built in where, you can generate video, images, music. It's just a one-stop shop for creative AI.
This is Buick now. Buick, exceptional by design.
Current eligible GM lessees get this ultra low mileage lease on this 2026 Encore GX Preferred for around $199 per month.
I get random texts and she sporadically posts on Instagram. Of course, she has her comments turned off. I want to block her so bad, but my lawyer advised me that it's better to maintain a communication channel that's not through our kids. Her last post was from Hawaii. She put in the comments how great a husband I was for letting her take this trip.
Whoa.
He wanted a break from the marriage, so her husband broke the marriage off. We've got a video for you here today from the Modern King. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in, and let's get into it.
My wife abandoned me 2 months ago to find herself.
Ooh.
Oh no, these never end good.
Oh.
2 months ago, I get home and she left a note. My friend calls it Exhibit A. Basically, she was going on our trip without me. She had quit her job, took most of our savings, and wasn't sure when she'd be back. Maybe a year, maybe sooner. She knew I'd understand.
Effectively, this woman quit her job, stole from her family, and went off to go party for a year straight. And the worst part is that she expected her entire family to be cool with this irresponsible behavior. The second she walks out that door, the marriage is over.
Her location is turned off. My calls go directly to voicemail. I texted the kids a picture of the note.
That's terrible.
We have our checking accounts for direct deposits of our paychecks, but we transfer most of it into a joint account to pay the household bills and savings. We both have access to the main savings account. We have joint credit cards we use for household expenses. The 2 cars and mortgages are joint. We both also have our own small savings account, our own retirement accounts, equity funded, and our own credit cards for gifts and fun things.
Cancel the joint account, cancel the credit cards, change the direct deposit into your own name, and don't let that woman get a single cent. She abandoned her kids and told them via a note. She has forfeited the benefits of the marriage, in my opinion, and she deserves absolutely nothing.
I closed all joint cards and accounts. I waited a month to see if she'd come back, hopefully before she spent our savings. After receiving only 1 text the first month, I went to a lawyer. She basically said that there was very little to do right now, other than changing the beneficiaries of my retirement account and life insurance. Yay, my wife gets nothing else if I die alone while she's having our adventures. It was only a month and there was no way to serve her papers. My lawyer advised me to keep paying the mortgage and the cars.
The divorce laws are so messed up that a wife and mother can just up and leave whenever she wants, remain legally married, and not have to suffer any form of legal consequences. Meanwhile, the father is left holding the bag for everything moving forward.
The cost of trying to get a judge to approve the sale of joint assets was more than making payments. I didn't want to ruin my credit by letting one of our cars get repossessed, but I couldn't sell it because she's on the title. I get random texts and she sporadically posts on Instagram. Of course, she has her comments turned off. I want to block her so bad, but my lawyer advised me that it's better to maintain a communication channel that's not through our kids. Her last post was from Hawaii. She put in the comments how great a husband I was for letting her take this trip.
He didn't let her do anything. She made the decision to abandon her family to go to exotic locations, and he didn't get a say in it. She just tells herself that she had permission so that way she doesn't have to feel bad about up and leaving everything on a whim here.
I'm barely making it, paying 2 cars, a mortgage, household bills, insurance, hoping there are no emergencies because I have no savings. And she's enjoying our trip. Her. I'm so pissed at her. I helped take care of her mom for 4 years, and her when she fell apart after her mom moved into a memory care home. And she returns the favor by abandoning me?
He didn't care about the consequences of this stunt. She didn't care about the bills, the mortgage, or anything like that. She just magically assumed that it would be all right as she went on a year-long vacation and left her husband to clean up the mess that she left.
I'll never get to this trip, and I'll have to put off retirement. My only solace is my kids are pissed at her too. They'll probably forgive her eventually. Double fuck her. I'm no fool. She's hooking up with guys. She looks good. She'll have zero problems getting men. I texted her and asked if she was sleeping around. A week later, she responded that wasn't true. Sure. So I'm drinking alone on a Friday night, and she's somewhere, probably on a beach, enjoying her life. Edit, my lawyer has given me a bunch of advice and options. It was just way more than I could possibly include in this post.
This woman is an absolute monster. It takes a very deranged mind to think that it's just acceptable to abandon your family to have fun on a beach, cheat on your husband, and cut off all communication while you go off to party. That husband deserves better.
I could definitely push the issue harder, and I might need to at some point, but all that work is very expensive. Finding her, serving her, getting a judge to sign off, that's not cheap. I'm following up soon. I plan on talking about savings and my finances. Until I paid all the bills and realized how little was left, it didn't hit me that I had to worry about money. And then relevant comments. Somebody says, thanking you for letting her take this trip is basically her saying, when I get through living this single life, I'll be coming back to the comfort and security of a married life. When she returns, I'd say, welcome home. Here are your walking papers. And Opie responded, she is 100% under the delusion that she's coming back to a marriage. She had a few conversations with our daughter, and she's convinced I'll understand and forgive her. So she is speaking to the kids.
Get the hell out of
So
here.
disgusting.
You freaking delusional.
That's the messed up part. She thinks that everybody is just waiting for her and will blindly accept her return with open arms. And the second they turn their backs, she'll act like she's the victim because she needed to go find herself, and they refuse to support that behavior.
Another comment. Tell your daughter to pass along the message that you're filing for divorce or abandonment and see if this gets you some traction. I don't generally like the idea of going through kids, but they need to have your back on this. Maybe even tell her they'll cut her off as well if she keeps doing this to you and the family. Maybe even start posting about how she's living the good life and letting your kids and family know what kind of pickle this has put you in. Everyone probably assumes you're on board with this if you're not purposefully driving the true narrative.
That guy needs to start taking steps right now to have the support of family and friends, because the longer he waits, the longer his wife is going to lie and manipulate her way into getting sympathy from everyone around her.
And Opie responded, she only hears what she wants. I asked her to send me an address to serve her papers. She only told me that we'll work it out when she comes home. All the pain she's causing, but she just says that she only has 5 to 10 years left until she gets dementia. It's impossible to know if she'll even develop dementia, but shouldn't she be spending this time with her family? An update from my original post. I'm feeling much more positive. The financial situation has become a little bit more manageable. Basically, I'm running up debt that will get paid off when I sell the house. Even with lawyer fees, I have 6 to 8 more months before I have to worry about money, assuming there are no emergencies.
It makes no sense that her solution to ease her fears of getting dementia is to abandon her family and steal from them so that she can spend a year on a beach in Hawaii. I mean, at that point, she's not afraid of anything. She's just lying here.
My friend's wife gave me some good advice. Don't go from being a hero to a villain in your kids' eyes. How I talk about and treat my wife will determine my future relationship with my kids. I don't give a damn about my wife, but I don't want to make her a sympathetic figure or drive them away from both of us. I followed up with a lawyer. Basically, she said we're going to have her pay back the savings she took through a reduction in the shares of assets. Any division of assets will include the savings she took. She'll also have to repay the money I spent maintaining the house while she was gone. There is plenty of equity in her share of the house and her retirement plans to cover that.
He's building up a solid divorce case against her, but the sad part is, even with all of this evidence, he's still going to have to fight tooth and nail to have her pay back everything to him. Divorce laws are written to benefit women for a reason.
She said that our finances are so intertwined after nearly 25 years of marriage, my wife is going to get some share of the assets. Best case is she agrees to the terms of the divorce. It's relatively cheap and quick. Otherwise, it gets complicated and expensive. She gave me a lot of options and how much I can expect to spend, so I've decided to just wait.
There is no way that his wife is going to agree to those terms, even though they are way better than she deserves. She threw out 25 years of marriage, by the way, and thinks that everything will be worked out by the time she gets back. So there's no need for a divorce.
I just got a couple of credit cards with promo rates for purchases and transfers. That gives me breathing room and I can conserve cash. I'll just pay them off when I sell the house. Now that my financial situation is less stressful, I'm actually enjoying her being gone. I'm free to do whatever I want. whenever. I don't have to cook or clean or take care of anyone. The house is quiet for the first time I can remember. I loved my wife, but her mental health weighed down our marriage. On balance, it was worth it until now. The first month or so, I expected her to be there whenever I'd get home, when someone was at the door, or if I heard noises, I'd think it was her. I checked forward to her returning. It has to happen, but when she comes back, the divorce, getting the house ready to sell, dividing all of our stuff, finding a new place to live, I'm hoping she'll stay away until after New Year's, but my daughter says she thinks her mom will be home for Christmas, either to stay or visit.
This proves that men want peace in their lives, and the second we get a taste of that peace, we're not exactly going to do backflips at the prospect of giving it up, especially when there's a woman who's bringing up stress and misery with her just in time for the holidays.
Serving my wife divorce papers or getting divorced in absentia, this is something I might need to do eventually, but the cost in lawyer fees goes up exponentially in cases like this. I'm comfortable just waiting for now. Look at the phone bill to see where she's at and possibly going. I did look at her usage and I did notice that she doesn't post on social media until after she leaves a place.
She is so calculated and it's sick.
Yes.
Like when she posted about Hawaii, she made a call that day that originated in Los Angeles. She posted about a cruise and I figured out the dates, trying to serve her at the port possibly.
A cruise? Can you imagine copying off the boat and getting served at the pier?
This woman is diabolical. She's calculating every single move so that she can stay one step ahead of everyone so that she doesn't have to sacrifice her fun and take accountability for her irresponsible behavior, not to mention the literal theft from her family, by the way. That is messed up.
Okay, so my wife texted me in the middle of December that she'd be home for Christmas. I told her that our daughter and I, would be at my brother's. She obviously wasn't welcome. I'd leave her car in the driveway and the fob in the backyard. She wasn't allowed in the house unless I was there. She didn't have keys to get in. She spent Christmas with her sister. When I got back, I met with her. I decided not to be overly confrontational because I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of thinking I cared enough to be mad. She was taken aback about how detached I was. I could tell it bothered her that I didn't show much emotion, not even anger.
Of course, he would be detached. The woman he swore a vow of loyalty to turned around and abandoned her entire family and just expected them to be cool with it. He's had time to process everything and is done with her. There's nothing else that needs to be said here.
I just wanted her to agree to a divorce. I asked why she left without telling anyone. She said she didn't want to wait a year. She didn't want anyone talking her out of it, and she didn't want to work anymore. She just wanted to leave because her mental health got worse. I'm sure it was mostly because she didn't want me to stop her from taking the money. She knew I would take care of everything with the kids and the house when she left. We had decided to go summer of 2024 for a few reasons. Packing everything and getting the house ready to sell was going to be a lot of work. We wanted to make sure our daughter graduated college, got a job, and was settled. We wanted to make sure we had money when we got back. We wouldn't have a house, cars, or job, so we just needed money because it could take months to find work and a place to live. We didn't want to have any worries or deal with a mess back home.
This whole mental health thing is a complete load of crap. She wanted to be free of everything and didn't want to get in any trouble for it. The problem is if you break off everything without any warning, nobody's going to be waiting for her when she decides to show up again. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Click this video that's up on the screen now if you want to see more. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.
Everyone's gearing up for the holidays in a Chevy of their choice. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
hoping to negotiate about Ukraine. So what happens now? And it looks like 39% said that the U.S. will flip the script and go hard on Putin, while 35% said the U.S. will simply brush it under the rug, and 16% said the U.S. forces Ukraine to surrender anyway. So this one here, to me, is pretty straightforward. The U.S. is going to try to brush this under the rug because this is, once again, another massive embarrassment. And the U.S. officials let themselves be embarrassed another major time by Vladimir Putin. They let it happen yet again, and it probably won't be the last time it happens either. So I doubt the U.S. is going to flip the script and go hard on Putin. I really doubt that's going to be the case. I think they'll try to simply ignore this and try to brush it under the rug. They might even start adding in some statements like, sir, Putin is mistaken. I was fed bad information by my negotiators. They said he wanted to end the war, but actually it was false. You could hear that next. That's all very possible. So I don't think the U.S. is going to force Ukraine to surrender because literally Ukraine can't do that. And even the U.S. officials know that. They can't just outright surrender. And I don't think they're going to force them to do it. So they'll try to ignore it. Now I'm looking at 35%. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would have to say that I would be with the 35% as well. The U.S. is most likely going to brush this under the rug because that's what the U.S. has done 5 times prior this year alone. That's what I would assume is going to be the running precedent because every single time the Russians have done this, you know what our answer has been on the channel? It's been a reasonable one. Oh, buddy, they've insulted the United States. They've humiliated us on the world stage. Not only that, they've made the president, who's very ego-driven to an extent, look like a fool, and that usually doesn't do good for ego. So the gates of hell are about to be opened on the Russians, and we're going to give the Ukrainians everything and go all in on them. And then every single time that happens, it's overlooked. We get slapped and we look the other way or we turn the other cheek. And then we sit there and then we quietly restart the peace talk process again after walking away from it for a couple of weeks. So that way people will forget that we just failed last time and then we tried again. And that's what we've done multiple times this year. And because we have done that 5 times in a row now, and we're not changing our approach on that, I would have to assume that the approach this time is most likely going to be identical. We are going to get slapped in the face by the Russians, which happened today. We're going to turn the other cheek, pretend that it didn't happen. We're also going to pretend that the Russians actually want peace, and then we're going to come back to this in a couple of weeks and probably even try and force the Ukrainians into an even worse peace agreement to see if the Russians will agree to that one. That's what I would generally assume. I don't mean to be critical of our approach or pessimistic, but there has really been no reason for optimism so far in this year in the diplomatic process on what's going on in Ukraine. The realistic approach that I would have to tell y'all I would take is that if I was the president of the United States, just to rephrase something that's been said in tweets a lot lately, this peace talk would have never happened. I wouldn't have ever gotten to this point. I would have tried one, and that was the first one at the beginning of this year that the president tried. Because you have to try because it's a new administration. Maybe for some reason they were hostile to the prior administration, and they'll be more positive to this one. But once they show in one peace talk that they're not willing to talk to the administration, the current sitting one, if I was the president, I would have not engaged in another. I would have said, okay, well, if they want to play ball like that, we'll play ball with them. Sure, I mean, there's no doubt about it. We would send Ukraine basically anything and everything that he wanted. Hell, we would divert weapons from Israel and Taiwan if necessary that were being sent to them and send them to Ukraine to make sure that the Ukrainians had the largest amount of firepower to go up against the Russians. The Russians would be bombed into submission on the front, and just due to the amount of sheer firepower the Ukrainians are able to leverage at them, they wouldn't be able to make a single advance even in the Prokras this year. Then addition.
Fuck what he wants with you. You guys sit at your fucking keyboards, fucking snickering, fucking dogs. You're fucking dogs. You're all a bunch of dogs. You're like a bunch of dogs. And you look like a bunch of dogs because you're gay and you're really queer. You take it in the mirror. And I hate you. That's why I hate you. You're all a bunch of queers. Taking it in your rears. You're gonna be tears. You think that this fun, but no, the things and other than that you really dumb. You're really dumb. Do, 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 do.
alliances. But considering that the United States is basically portraying an American life country to get nothing from the Russians, and honestly, I really can't disagree with this all too much. I mean, Sarah Jones, really, if the Ukrainians didn't think that they made the right call, and thankfully they did, because the the public really know what's going on behind the scenes. But anyways, moving on from that, and on out of moving the call, we do have to move out of the whole region for just a little moment, just a little bitty moment. Now, I want to make sure really quickly, folks, that we've covered most of the major news, at least within Washington. Oh yeah, by the way, I do have to include this. We're not going to talk about the whole tomahawk deal because it's more some conjecture. But the United States did state today through the Secretary of State that the U.S. will not agree to security guarantees for Ukraine until a peace deal is reached. So we're not going to promise any security guarantees to the Ukrainians at all until the whole thing is said, done, and signed off on as far as the war ends. Then we might get to a security guarantee. Although they're already supposed to have one because of the mineral deal. The mineral deal specifically included that for Ukraine giving up 50% of their minerals to the U.S. and allowing the U.S. to pretty much have them. That the U.S. in turn was going to provide security guarantees to the state of Ukraine. So we completely just throw that out the window. We still get half of it.
At Amazon, skills training and apprenticeships can move hourly employees into higher paying roles.
It's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start with some weapon grade crazy before elevating to something a little more sophisticated. But first, the crazy. This next clip features Katie Couric. That's the former NBC anchor, you know, the gal who thought it was a good idea to dine with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted, after it became clear that he was a filthy pedophile. Well, here is Katie with gal pal MSNBC anchor Jen Psaki.
More and more of the questions in there are by sycophants, are by people who are not asking about news that the American people cares about, you know, putting out conspiracy theories. They're people who, and they're getting a lot of the questions.
Conspiracy theories, she says, like the Russian collusion hoax you and the Democrats, other propagandists in the media pushed relentlessly for 4 years. Imagine how crazy and warped your view of the world is if you think Donald Trump is getting an easy ride from the media. Now let's hear the ladies turn up the hyperbole.
That's a huge, huge problem because it's becoming more of a Kremlin-esque press corps.
Right, and they've invited a lot of reporters from very right-wing media outlets, and you're right, they usually say, I forget, there was one example, like, did you ever...
You're a fucking traitor and you're a fucking cat lady. You need to go fuck off, both of you fucking witches.
Realistically.
The fuck? You're nasty. You're fucking nasty.
So why are you using words that you don't even know the definition
No, that's not what I meant. I think you are.
of? What does misogynistic mean? Like, just so I know what you're calling me.
Okay, so the reason I said it is just, again, based on the
Because you hear it on the internet?
Nah, bro, are you stupid?
The nerve to call him stupid after that performance. The American education system has failed those two. Maybe if they read a book or two instead of watching Mel Robbins videos on Instagram, they'd be a little bit smarter. And talking about Mel Robbins, she made an appearance on Bill Maher's program, and sadly, she's a typical ill-informed awful. That's affluent, white, female lefty.
Like, I see so many people are upset about him building a ballroom. I could give a... I don't give about it.
We're
bing
paying
bong.
for it, whether you're
No, we're
voting for him
not.
or not.
No, we're not paying for it.
She really should stick to giving terrible advice to sad girls on the internet because she clearly knows nothing about politics. How did she miss the most pertinent fact about the ballroom, that it's not taxpayer funded? And let's stick with Bill Maher, who gave this blistering assessment of Larry David, the once funny, once genius comic who has allowed his Trump derangement to run amok.
This is so childish, so purely emotional. The people who got all butthurt because I had dinner with them, because he's Hitler. Except he's not. So unhelpful and dumb. Trump is the most supportive president Israel and the Jews ever had. Every year I used to ask Larry David to do real time, and he'd always say, Bill, I can't. I'm not smart enough about politics to do your show. Yeah, I get that now.
You know what? Bill Maher is proof that there is a cure for TDS. He was among the worst offenders, folks. He would sit right there with nutbags like Robert De Niro, give them a platform to spew their nonsense, and he would back it up. He would make the most outrageous claims about Trump. But though he remains a lefty and he's also a Democrat still, he's no longer raving like a lunatic, so growth. Now to a video that has caused all sorts of uproar because the president correctly labeled it seditious. Here we have Democrats calling for members of the military to break the chain of command and disobey orders. I'm just going to play you 10 seconds of this nonsense.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
Now, typically, CNN anchor Jake Tapper has joined the Democrats in claiming that Donald Trump is giving illegal orders to the US military and that individuals could be charged for following those orders. And of course, he's far more upset by Trump reacting to the sedition than the sedition itself.
President Trump's wildly inappropriate and potentially dangerous
Down about a so-called insurrection. Democrats are now campaigning for an insurrection, quite openly too. And what about Jake Tapper referencing Nuremberg, the movie, because his dim audience doesn't know the actual history? Let's hear now from one of these Democrats who called for members of the military to commit treason, essentially. Here is Elissa Slotkin. I wonder if she can name one illegal order that President Trump has issued.
Do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of
Oh,
things
yeah,
that are
but he's
illegal.
he's getting it out there.
Things that are illegal. There you go. But she and her treasonous collaborators felt the need to create a very well-produced video calling on members of the military to disobey lawful orders, to break the chain of command. And it gets worse. When she's pressed for examples, she claims she was just talking broadly. And then she really loses it and starts scrambling. She mentions Nuremberg and even a Tom Cruise film.
It does imply that the president is having illegal orders, which you have not seen.
I think for us, it was just a statement widely, right? Look, if you're going back to Nuremberg, right, that, well, they told me to do it, that's why I murdered people, is not an excuse. If you look at popular culture, there's you watch, A Few Good Men, we have plenty of examples since World War II in Vietnam where people were told to follow illegal orders and they did it and they were prosecuted for it.
But you just said that President Trump had not issued any illegal orders. That would be the key point. Joining me now is Newswork Senior Editor-at-Large at Article 3 Project Senior Counsel, Josh Hammer. Josh, this whole campaign by the Democrats has now been turned around to attack Donald Trump because he said what they did was seditious, tantamount to treason. How do you see this?
Well, Rita, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, can we forever dispel the notion that Elissa Slotkin, Mark Kelly, and these other notable Democratic elected officials are anything other than essentially indistinguishable from Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and the most radical left flank? They were sold, Senators Kelly of Arizona, Senator Slotkin, who we just saw in Michigan, they were sold as moderate statesmen there. They're not. These are radicals. They're with very, very, very few exceptions. John Fetterman comes to mind, but they are really few and far between. Their party is from soup to nuts, from top to bottom, filled with revolutionaries, with genuine Marxist-style Western revolutionary insurgents who are here to topple the established order. And that is what this insane video, this utterly insane propagandistic video, is attempting to do. It absolutely is incitement to insurrection. That's what I called it on my show, because that's exactly what it is. They are telling you not to follow the chain of command. The chain of command, Rita, is the sine qua non of a military. In a Western-style democracy, the chain of command is what separates an active military, ultimately subordinate to plainclothes officials. In America, that would be the commander-in-chief. That's what separates us in civilization from the barbarians. And they are cutting at the very core of that. They are playing with absolute fire here. Now, if they actually had one or two examples that they could point to and say, oh, according to our well-detailed legal research, according to this Supreme Court case, according to this precedent, blah, 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 this actually is illegal. Fine, maybe. Let's have that conversation. I'm a lawyer. I'm very happy to have that conversation. But you just heard her. She can't name a single one. She literally cannot name a single possible order here. So what are you doing? You're literally encouraging the armed men and women of this country in our volunteer military to disobey the chain of command, to get court-martialed or potentially worse for that, and then you're not going to have your back because you can't even think of an example in the affirmative. This is so insanely crazy, Rita. And I guess the final point that I'll end this filibuster on is I will say this. Ever since the Butler, Pennsylvania near assassination of Donald Trump that happened almost a year and a half ago now, we've been waiting for the radical left to tone down their comparisons about how Trump is a Nazi, Trump is Hitler, Trump is Stalin. In that clip, she's talking about Nuremberg. Oh my God. I mean, how she's literally making the Nazi comparison there. They've learned nothing. They have learned absolutely nothing. And most maddening to me as an American patriot, they are putting our armed men and women in our armed forces in harm's way by telling them to commit insurrection without having their back. It's disgusting, it's disgraceful, and at a bare minimum, they should be expelled from the Senate, frankly, these reprehensible hacks, if nothing worse than them.
And they also miss the point that if you actually did live in a fascist dictatorship, which they think they do, you wouldn't be able to produce that video. You wouldn't be able to post it all over social media and get mainstream media coverage. And much of the mainstream media coverage has been positive for those Democrats. What do you say to the likes of, say, Jake Tapper, who has joined them in suggesting that members of the military are in danger of committing crimes by following illegal orders? He also mentioned Nuremberg and Vietnam. He seems to be mirroring the same arguments and putting this suggestion that the US military right now is committing some sort of war crimes or illegal acts.
Yeah, look, Jake Tapper is a quintessential Trump drain syndrome left-wing commentator here in the United States. This is someone who once upon a time was maybe center-left. Jake Tapper once upon a time was not quite as far left as let's call it a Mehdi Hassan or a joyless Joy Reid or someone like that there. But Jake Tapper drank the TDS Kool-Aid with every ounce of what the TDS Kool-Aid consists of. And at this point, he's basically indistinguishable from that. It's sad because Jake is a man who really ought to know better. But if Jake didn't know better, then what he would realize is that the actual crime that could happen here is if you were in the chain of command and you simply do not follow the chain of command. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough. I did not serve in the U.S. Armed Forces, but literally all my veteran friends who did emphasized time and time again that the chain of command from the commander-in-chief to the chairman of Joint Chiefs, the generals, all the way on down, this is how the military functions. And you play with absolute fire when you start to play with that. If there is an order that you are ordered to do that for whatever reason you genuinely feel like you cannot do, there are remedies available for you. You can seek a court martial. You can go to a military court. We have military law, military tribunals. There are various options to you. What you cannot do is to just say, oh, my hands are tied because you are illegal. You are not in a position to do that. We have military judges do that there. If Jake Tapper knew a damn thing about the law, then he would know that.
Now, let's talk about California. Who's going to take over the reins from Gavin Newsom? It's going to be a Democrat. We know that. It's a one-party state. We've had the front-runner, Katie Get Out of My Shot Porter.
State could lose. Get out of my shot.
She imploded a few weeks back during a friendly CBS interview. It was quite an extraordinary performance. And we've got another big-name contender, Josh Eric Swalwell. He has some bold ideas of his own.
I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian vote by phone. Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our, make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online, you should be able to vote by phone.
Josh, could it work? I've heard dumber ideas. Maybe not today, but I've certainly heard dumber ideas. Could Americans cast their vote on their phone?
Rita, Eric Swalwell is someone whose IQ is 1.5 standard deviations below the mean on a good day. On a worse day, it happens to be worse than that. He's also quite possibly a Chinese spy. Let's not forget the whole affair Fang Fang. Yeah, Fang Fang is a name that many of us here have not forgotten. This was the Chinese honeypot that Eric Swalwell was found to be romantically involved with a number of years ago, and that has stuck with many of us ever since then. He has never offered a square explanation for that entire scandal. I have no idea what the heck Eric Swalwell thinks that he has accomplished to put him in a position to run for governor of the most populous state in the country. But then again, ditto Katie Porter, and frankly, ditto virtually all these other candidates who are putting their hat into the ring. As far as notion of voting by phone, frankly, I think that America's elections are insecure enough as it is. I would not be one to necessarily want to add an additional layer of insecurity. I think that there are enough legitimate concerns. And if you look at the polls, there are enough people who say that they do not necessarily fully trust that their votes are going to be cast and tabulated there. I mean, what could possibly go wrong by relying on AT&T and Verizon and the various mobile cell phone providers to cast your vote? I can think of approximately 1 million to 2 million things that could possibly go wrong with that picture there. So, no, that strikes me as yet another quintessentially really, really stupid Eric Swalwell idea, which, again, is par for the course because he's a pretty dumb man, as the case may be.
I just can't believe he's in the running. You would think the entire Fang Fang affair, the fact that he was in a serious relationship with a Chinese Communist Party spy, would disqualify you from any sort of public office for life. But no, here he is. He's still wanting to be governor of California. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said earlier today that he was very optimistic that negotiators could reach a deal to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. Rubio had met today with a delegation from Kiev in Geneva, and he said the issues that must be resolved were not insurmountable. Now, I want to hear from President Trump. He's got a 28-point proposal, but he has a number of provisions that Ukraine has previously rejected.
We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended. So then he can continue to fight his little heart out.
Josh, he said if President Zelensky rejects the plan, then he can continue to fight his little heart out, and he wants an answer from Kiev by Thursday.
Yeah, look, so based on what I've seen from this plan, Rita, the broad outlines of it are something that I could see myself getting behind. There's one thing that I'm less confident of, but Ukraine's going to have to give up territory. Okay, I've been saying that bluntly for at least 2 years now. Many of us have been saying that bluntly for years now. Ukraine is not going to gain back territory. To this day, no one has put a credible plan on the table to show how Ukraine is going to, in a post-war world, how you can convince Russia to simply give up territory that it has actually acquired over the past couple of years. So that, to me, seems like a non-starter. You have the typical hacks in the left-wing media, the New York Times, MSNBC, the hardcore Slava Ukraine crowd. They're all saying, oh, my God, this is a Putin plan. They're giving away. No, I mean, Trump is a realist. He lives in reality. So that is what's going on here when it comes to some territorial concessions from Ukraine in the eastern Ukraine region of the Donbass, the Crimean Peninsula, and so forth. The part of the plan that I am not certain of yet, and it's going to depend on the details, is this NATO Article 5 style security guarantee. Now, the part that I think I could be willing to get behind personally is that, if I understand it correctly, there is a 10-year time limit on it for now. It's not a perpetuity commitment, if I understand it correctly, similar to NATO Article 5. However, if Russia were to actually then invade in the next 10 years, which they probably wouldn't, to be clear, if that guarantee were in place, but if they would there, you're committing U.S. troops, British troops, French troops. I mean, that's potentially a very serious thing there, right? So I would like to hear more details about that before I offer it my enthusiastic support. But based on what I can see right now, I think that is clever, and it does, broadly speaking, map out with what I've been thinking a possible peace deal could look like for the past couple of years.
Now, let's talk about the Epstein files, and House Republicans, including James Comer, have ordered Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify next month about their ties to the convicted pedophile. And was a staunch Democrat as well, Jeffrey Epstein. We forget that. Josh, the Clintons' legal team has earlier this month said their clients were willing to make a written statement. What are the chances that they will actually appear and testify in person?
Oh, I think close to zero. I think they're going to plead the fifth until eternity, frankly, on this one. I don't think Slick Willie wants anything near a microphone when it comes to ask point blank, why were you on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, the Lolita Express, over 30 times? I don't think Bill Clinton will get anywhere near a microphone. Hillary Clinton has been making some of the media rounds here recently for God knows what reasons. I don't really know exactly what she's trying to do other than to maybe grift, get another multi-million-dollar book deal or something like that. But maybe there's a world in which Hillary could appear before the microphone because she just has an utterly insatiable appetite, even at this late stage of her feckless career, to sit before the cameras and preen. But I put the odds there pretty low as well, to be honest with you. I think they will plead the fifth. They will do some statement there. But your broader point is important. Jeffrey Epstein was a hardcore Democrat. He was a hardcore Democrat. He hated Trump, by the way. That's why he was texting Stacey Plaskett, the U.S. Virgin Islands Congresswoman, during that 2019 Michael Cohen hearing. He was literally texting her, get Trump talking points in real time. He despised Donald Trump because Donald Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, because Donald Trump became a very successful person without getting involved in horrific pedophilia and child sex trafficking operations, unlike Jeffrey Epstein there. So he was a hardcore Democrat there. And frankly, if Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and Ro Khanna, all these Democrats, had a morsel, an ounce of intellectual consistency there, they would be asking all of the questions 10 times as much when it comes to Bill Clinton as they are with respect to Donald Trump.
Absolutely. And Michael Wolff was also a vehement anti-Trumper. He said in a recent interview that Jeffrey Epstein believed that Donald Trump may have been the one who first alerted authorities to what was happening at his property, and he hated him ever since. So this whole narrative and the fact that he chucked him out of Mar-a-Lago back in 2008. But you mentioned Hillary Clinton. She does have an insatiable appetite for attention, and she did another appearance and she explained that she's been daydreaming about a goodbye Trump announcement.
You know what this reminds me of is I wish that there could be like a huge national sound system. And we would all wake up and they'd say, attention,
You are a
attention.
fucking witch. You're a fucking witch. Motherfucker.
45. It's time to screen for colon cancer.
It's true. The Cologuard test comes to you.
Join ICE with bonuses up to $50,000 and generous benefits. Join.ice.gov.
Get ready to dive into the unknown. What you're about to see challenges everything we imagine about the supernatural. Pay attention, because these images will mess with your mind. Hey everyone. Before we begin, I'm counting on your like, your comment, and watch this video until the end. That way you'll be helping with the channel's recommendations. My name is Oliver and you're on the Olive F channel. And let's get to the video. We start with a video reported by a young man who lives near a remote area in the United States, near mountains. However, this place has a particularity, since the author said it's a point of strange sightings of ovens and unknown entities. One day, he was with a friend at home and they saw something very strange, a bright light that was on top of the mountain. At first, they thought it might be a mountaineer, but it was very strange. He quickly grabbed his phone and started recording. Attention. Oh, disappearance. At first they thought it was a mountaineer, but it was very tall. It seemed to measure 3 meters in height. Suddenly that figure disappeared in a second. Now, what happened here? Could it be real evidence? What was that thing that appeared on top of the mountain? Inside on the window there. Yeah. Disappeared. Window right. The hell is going to zoom in on this? Window, the hell is going on through? A couple who do paranormal investigations went to an abandoned building, a building that was once a convent or fairground. And in the middle of this investigation, they filmed something very strange. Pay attention. Right, okay, right. I don't know. I don't know if it was my eyes, but did someone just see like a white
No, there's a big giant freaking red arrow covering the
Like that?
freaking screen.
Just when they were saying that they had seen the apparition of a man dressed as a doctor, smoke appeared out of nowhere in the middle of that corridor. It could just be dust from the environment, but if you look closely, at the end of the recording, that shadow seems to form a pair of feet and walks away.
No, I don't see it. assholes. Dickheads.
This video is very old and was shared with a comedic tone, but it went viral because some people noticed a very frightening detail that went unnoticed. It was recorded in a cemetery. It was during a funeral. At one point, one of the people carrying the urn lost their balance and fell into the hole. As I said, this video was shared with a comedic tone, but many people saw a very sinister detail if you look closely. Many say they saw a hand trying to grab this man. Pay attention. Many say that these hands are not from people or spirits, but from demons. This young man shared a frightening video on his profile on July 29th. He says he lives in an old house that is over 160 years old. It is located near a center in Florence where autopsies are performed. He says that one night he heard someone calling at his door and saw a silhouette that seemed to be a person, but when he went to open the door, there was nothing there. Pay attention to the evidence. In the actual hell. Literally. This young woman named Lucia posted on her profile a very strange event that happened in an abandoned school in Argentina. She recorded a very strange noise. Pay attention. I played the song 10 times, but there's no one.
Bizarre. Oh, yeah, Lord, my fingers. Hey there, Greasy from all the falafel that I was eating.
This case was
And the
posted by
golden
this
ice
man.
cream.
He says it was
Don't
night,
ask
and
me
he
where
woke
the
up to
golden gotta
strange
come
noises
from.
of children inside
Please.
the school. The strange
Do
thing
not
was that
ask.
it was late at night.
I will
Pay
not
attention.
tell. I promise.
L bewildered.
Please do not ask because I will not tell. Have you heard?
Oh,
Have you heard what I am saying? Please do not ask because I will not tell. I promise. There are things that I cannot say because my mouth, it does not work. I have no teeth and my tongue has been removed.
my God.
Please do not ask me what I am saying because I do not know. How can I know? How can I know what is going on?
What a
Who are you
mess.
and why are you talking to me? I should
He
not
says
be
the
able
school
to,
was
to
empty. It
decline
was
that.
dawn. There shouldn't have been children there. So, what happened here? A man was sleeping in his room when the night vision surveillance camera recorded something very sinister that happened to him during the night. Pay attention. You. Saw a strange shadow pass over him, a silhouette that the man felt the presence of. He gets up, looks, but finds nothing, then goes back to sleep.
What the hell is your problem?
But we can see that silhouette that was right above him. Furthermore, at the end of the recording, we can see an orb. Many believe it was an entity that visited this man that night.
You wash your whole body every day, so why don't you wash your whole mouth?
Listerine. Wash your mouth.
Why would you do that?
Hexclad is used in our kitchens and they absolutely deliver. You will buy these pans once and you will have these pans for the rest of your life.
You get that wonderful reaction, quite unlike anything else. They hold their heat like a cast iron pan, have the properties of a non-stick. So they're really very special indeed. And I use them at home. It transforms cooking at home into a joy instead of a chore.
Design is really important to me. The pots and pans have that non-stick quality, a wonderful heft. They stack and they're durable. They just feel good when you lift them up.
You fall in love with it. And these things last a lifetime. And that investment for people at home is just so, so important.
There are several legends about ghost trains, where people claim to see and hear train noises at night, but can't see anything. A woman from Santa Rosa, Mexico, went to a railway where they say they hear ghost train noises at night. So she went with her phone and started a live stream. And in that live stream, she recorded the following. Pay attention. A hidden graw in the trailers. In the $113 Noel Vivo condo. For ACA. E. Caddy. Una Vibra. Sega Trenin. Perfil e gravo estranhos fenómenos som que vem do aproximando como fosse passando por ela. Ela dido que também sentir a vibration como se algo estiver passando e depois sumida. Alguns comentários dizem que seria apenas o som das fábricas ao redor. KKOKE. É evidência bastante sinistra e frustrante. Pro.
traitor. You're a traitor.
So happy Thanksgiving for everyone here in the US. So I started looking at the data for the capture this morning. Common free address is coming pretty early in the morning now, almost like 4 o'clock. It used to come at 4:30.
out of 10. And 4 with Jay. Nickel. 0 carbon. 0 onion.
It's actually a good idea to reduce the speed in alignment like almost to 50%. It's still super fast, so it's not going to really be helpful. And if change the close nothing to see if we can see the same what they noticed before. The moment you reduce the colors, you start noticing what is inside, right? Oh, this is bluish, right? Which is clearly a closer. There's nothing. So let me try doing the same thing, which is reducing the color. So let's reduce the color brightness. The brightness inside the brightness.
This is not like a comic.
Confuses me all the time. Okay, so this is the color. This is the brightness. You see that?
Yeah, we see it, man.
So if I show you the way the images, they pretty much give you that perspective.
Doesn't look like it's rotating, buddy. Does not look like it's rotating at all.
I'll do the same thing now to these. Reduce the brightness. I'll also zoom in. Reduce the brightness further if I have. I think this to there. Once we reduce the brightness further and further. Okay. So anyway, so that makes me
Where do you go? Shut the fuck up, you fucks. You are fucks.
Obstruction of justice, priceless. That is so freaking funny. I used to kidnap my neighbor. Don't. That's what the shirt says. Haven't seen the sunrise movement in a while. I like how this non-binary is just totally shocked with the upset that.
Why are you being arrested?
Suck my fucking.
Videos is Travis Melton. Go give him a follow. What a hero. Switch it back up. Watch out. Oh, no. Oh, cropped us. Oh, it keeps going. So they're trying to block that car from leaving the ice facility.
Just run them the fuck over. Why are you fucking even caring?
They're still trying. Come on, dude, spray him again. Spray him. We get third time's the charm. So stupid. Now that's what I call F around, find out.
No.
Just curious the way you keep laughing. Just see this. So legitimately there's no sort of witchcraft here. But it's all healthy. Look at this. What the hell is that supposed to be?
That was a fucking person. Oh yeah, I know exactly where I'm at. I'm at the area where the tree fell down. I've been around this area a long time ago. This is where I saw the thing running through the roof or whatever. Oh man. That was too close for comfort there. The thing is, I'm literally by myself out here. And the last thing I need to do is run into some random dude. He looked kind of tall too. I do have my pepper spray on me. But it's like the good stuff, like the police graded ones. Alright, I'm gonna still keep making my way out of here. Jesus, I'm a little nervous though. Alright, so I've made it far across the other side of the cemetery to make it to this location that I'm at. The guy that I seen is way up there towards the entrance, this side to the right. And even changed how the clouds look now. Now it doesn't look the same anymore. There's more lower clouds. This is the area here where I seen the kid's face kind of staring, the little kid. Or he saw like eyes or some shit. It was weird. I tried to see if I could find security for whoever the hell I saw trying to sell drugs. I still can't believe that happened. I'm still kind of mind boggled. Oh shit. What the fuck? Hold on. I just saw a kid just run through here. I don't even know what to just say. I can't believe what I just saw just now. I just saw a kid just running, jogging here. I thought I hid behind the corner, but there was nothing there. And there's nothing out here either. It's just a straight hall down there. Niño? I just heard a scream. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my light. I don't know if that was. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna turn on my IR. Niño? Hello? If a kid comes running out of here, I am gonna pepper spray the hell out of him. I got like my imagination's going wild, like some kid's gonna come running right at me. Hola. I'm in the children's part right now. Listen. I don't see any sign of the kid that I just seen, but I'm hearing a bunch of kids now. It's like the sound, when I first heard it, it was like a giggle, an hola, but it was close up, and now they sound far away. And the thing that's got me the most freaked out is that I just seen a kid running. Oh shit. What the fuck? Oh shit. Niño, ¿estás perdido? I said, kid, are you lost? Hola. ¿Cómo se llamas? What is your name? No asustes. Soy un amigo. Hola. Holy shit. I am freaking out right now. I'm kind of still thinking that there's a kid running around here. I don't even, like, my brain doesn't want to accept that was paranormal or anything. I think there's like a kid playing around. I hear him screaming. I only saw one kid, but I hear multiple screams. Like there's more than one. Look at this. I'm going to switch it to color now. I just walked through here with complete night vision. And this is 100%. Hola.
Amigo, ¿viste su niño? ¿Viste su niño corriendo? Perdón, soy un poquito enfermo. Soy un poquito enfermo. ¿Tú trabajas aquí? Sí. Bueno, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Frank.
¿Pero qué hace caso usted?
Grabando.
¿Grabando qué?
Sí, grabando, pero dice la verdad, fantasma. Yo vi un niño chiquito corriendo por aquí. I'm not gonna let this guy scare the hell out of me. So right now, I think he's gonna walk me out, or he's trying to get in contact with the person that gets me access to this place. And hopefully I don't get kicked out, because one way I get out kicked out or I get out in handcuffs, which I don't think that'll happen. Hopefully my hookup responds. I don't know if he's just leaving me here or what. I tried to see if he saw a kid or something. He's not responding to me. Yo viste un niño corriendo y nothing. I'm not getting any responses from him. Let me walk out just a little bit. I don't really know what the hell's going on. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused here. There's a little bit of wind. But the guy just left. He kept driving on his scooter. I saw his little red light turn to the right. I don't know if he got in contact with my contact, but we'll see what happens. I got nervous for a second because I don't know who's who. No one really wears a uniform. For a minute, I thought it was probably this guy coming back that was trying to sell me drugs. If I see the guy again, I'm going to let him know about the other guy. But as of now, I'm going to just keep on going because I'm running out of time. So I've made it back out here. I'm actually close towards the front. I want to see if I can make my way towards Recatito's tomb. But there's a lot of wind coming this way. I don't really have a dead cat on the microphone. Let's see if I can get some cover here. Hold on. I just heard something. What the fuck? Holy shit. There's a whole bunch of witches right in front of the witch's tomb. There's like, what? There's a bunch of people. I don't know how much more is over there, but I'm not going over there. Never mind. I was literally going to go that route. But there's a whole bunch of people dressed up in black robes over there. I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up. I'm already running out of time, and I wanted to do the investigation there because that's where I always get random things going on. The last time I was there, somebody was passing by. That might be those people from the last time I was here. So what I did is I hid in one of the stalls areas that were here, or some room, and it got dark. I think everyone's gone, but I don't know if there's still patrols on the bicycles running around. But I really wanted to do this place at night, and where I'm at, I don't really feel too safe. So I'm going to head further deeper in. Let's get into it.
It must be complicated working with a friend.
Stop. But I love you. You need to show the town that you have nothing to be embarrassed about.
I'm sorry, I knew.
More rewards, more savings, more special offers. That's what new Fuel Rewards members get at Shell. Join to save 10 cents per gallon on your first fill, 20 cents per gallon on the second, and 30 cents per gallon on the third. Join today.
Out here, nothing says happy holidays like a great deal. Save big with Black Friday prices on safes, grills, griddles, and gifts you won't find anywhere else. The season's best deals are waiting. Save now at Tractor Supply.
Gotta get some quiet. So this is where he was buried. Right, it looks like he has his whole family here. And a pillow. This is probably his favorite pillow. Look at this.
This is the area here where he was buried. It doesn't have a name there, but I don't know if it's here. I'm sure someone's buried here. And then in here is another one. And you can see how it has the cannons and stuff because he was a war hero. Poor Perot. Be careful here. That's a pillow. Right in here. I thought it was going to go a lot more deeper underground. But this works. Let me see something. Shit. Hold on. I just heard voices right outside the tomb. But it could be people outside. Emilianito, ¿eso era tu tumba? ¿Está Cristo? A minute ago, I did hear voices right outside the tomb. I don't know if there's people there, but I guess I'm going to find out the hard way. I think I already have a lot more than what I was expecting to have exploring this area. All right, at this point, I'm going to keep going. I think there's another tomb I want to show you guys. Look at this one. This is another door with some roses in the floor there, see it? But it's like a concrete blanket, or is that an actual blanket? It seems to be covered. Hold on. Oh, that's actually... It's actually covered by a big blanket or a tarp. Let's see if I could open this up here so you guys can see. Seems like little bags. What's that? I don't know what that was. That scared the shit out of me. I think I broke my freaking cable. I literally punched the hell out of my aux cable, so if my audio is broken, hello? Holy shit. That one's open. I'm going in. Somehow. These stairs do not look safe. I don't know what I heard outside, but I'm just going with the flow because if I freak myself out, I can't do this. I gotta kind of keep my head on. Oh my God. All right, so if you look here, there is a ton of Santeria covering the whole floor. I don't want to step on any of this stuff. You see it? Sorry if my light's too bright. See it? All of that. Whoa. All right. What the hell is that? Look at this. I don't know if those are human remains, or parts are dead chickens, but that is a lot. I'm gonna zoom in. Some of that stuff looks like dried up blood down there. What do you guys think? Santeria or blessings or people's ashes or remains? I don't know. That stuff looks like it's. If you look on this side, you can see what looks like a smear of blood, like something opened up. I don't know how the hell I could do this. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. Look at this one. Open. Bags everywhere. Oh, that looks interesting. My legs are gonna kill me by tomorrow. More Santeria on the floor. Holy. And there's blood. Look. What the? Let's see what's on top of here. Oh my God. There's bones in here. And there's more Santeria stuff. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of candles. I'm sure if I dig in here, I'm gonna find something. And look over here. Oh, that's candle wax. That is candle wax. I don't want to be in here anymore. Look at this one. Oh, there's bones right there. If you look in the back there, way in there, you can see a spinal cord. Just out in the open. It's deep in there, though. Just don't want to make more loud noises. That really got me on my nerves. For a minute, I was about to leave. Right over here are post-mortem photos, or post-mortem photos. They'll leave cookies here for the kids, right? But look at this. This here are actual old vintage photos of children who've passed away in the past. I think there's that one. There's also this one. They're all passed away here. A witch who was buried here. Now, apparently she did good and bad, but mostly dark stuff. So on the top of her tomb, they spray painted Witch of Satan and stuff. And so other witches will come here and give thanks to her. So I'm going to go take you guys here real quick. But her tomb is actually kind of different from all the others because you can see a skull and bones, which kind of represents something very, very dark. But this is actually her tomb right here. Her name is Georgia Camacho or Georgia, something like that. I torture names. And you can see
Gregoria.
how other witches would carve their names in here and leave candles and trinkets. That looks like it's just Camila. That's a train. And if you look out here, you can see where they put all the candles. It's different from all the others because they put all these candles here and candies. Isn't that great? Hello? ¿Alguien estás aquí? That's the train. What the hell did I just hear? It sounded like somebody laughing. Thing is, on the maps, this area is blocked off. So once you walk back here, there's nowhere else you can go. Listen. Hello? Georgina? ¿Por qué tú estás riendo? ¿Tú estás riendo o llorando? Something else that's weird is that, again, this whole wall here is where people, take their lives. However, the majority of deaths are actually by Asians. And this is Peru, so that's something that I found kind of weird. So if you guys know about that, let me know. That's what I was told. ¿Quién está riendo? What? There's literally no one here. Georgina? Oh, okay. Well, I got creeped out. ¿Quién está riendo? It got quiet.
Huggies Double Grip Strips versus Baby Gear. Will it stay put? A toy piano? Yep. A rocking horse? Yep. An entire box of Huggies? Oh yeah. Only Huggies has double grip strips up to 100% leak-proof fit.
We do anything for our kids.
I do think there's something more going on. All that matters is family.
This has to be about money, right?
Sky like a band of wandering spirits wail relentlessly. Long hearses, without drums or music, move in a slow procession through my soul. Defeated heart bursts into tears. The fierce tyrant anguish sets his black banner on my bowed head.
Now I am making my way towards another tomb of a child named Ricardo. Now, apparently Ricardo grants blessings and wishes to everyone who comes to him. Seek help. he is a very well-known spirit that protects this graveyard. Well, one, protects it, and two, also offers blessings to everyone who shows up here. That's Ricardo. Even the church came here for the Alpha and Omega, and I guess Jesus Christ and stuff. I wanted to see if I can read what this says. A la memoria de Ricardo M. Espaillat, sus amigos, 8 de agosto, December 1887. Ricardo Espaillat, Mariano Nuevo, Barriano Nuevo, Barriano Nuevo. And so, yeah. Now, what's more interesting about this is that in the back, you could see all the prayers from everyone and all the blessings. And what's more interesting is that it even says gracias, like pretty much thank you for making these blessings come true. Any blessing you want, it'll be blessed by Ricardo. Look at that. Things that was taken care of. Right now, I am making my way to another part of this area. I think I was warned about this place to being very, very careful, because right here there was a lot of rituals that have taken place here. They told me that they even sacrificed chickens and animals just to please the gods or whoever they're pleasing. For instance, whoever they're doing the ritual to, it could be a demon, could be an angel. But from what I was told, this was done by Santeria or whatever, so I guess it's like pretty much for devil worshipping. That happened in this tomb right here. This is an abandoned tomb. Hello? Up too bright. There we go. It was built in 1878. This tomb apparently has a lot of demons that hide here and stay strong in this area. So I am going to be doing an SLS and probably a spirit. No me molestan, pero si alguien estás aquí, tú puedes hablar conmigo. Hace un ruido. I'm saying, bother me. But if there's someone here, can you do a sound so I know that you're there? What the hell was that? Look at those angels. When you see them crying, they're actually called lloronas. Something was here. It looks like a stain. Oh, look. That. Right there is a chicken. There's probably a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to keep the camera as still as I can. See it? Now, I was told that this is where they do Satana, like Satan. They would worship Satan. Satan and sacrifice things here. And you can see all the feathers on the floor. See that? All those feathers are from other chickens. Just being here alone, I'm already getting a cold breeze. I feel almost a bit weird, like, I don't know. You ever notice when you feel like kind of queasy? ¿Alguien más aquí conmigo? ¿Tú puedes decirte mi nombre o dime tu nombre? Cuando yo sabe que yo no está aquí solito, pretty much saying, can you say my name or can you tell me your name so I know that I'm not here alone? I want to check out The bottom two, no. This is where it gets dangerous, and I got to be careful what I touch because there's a lot of Santeria. Santeria, aka pretty witchcraft or little rituals that were done here. You don't know what they are, but what I'm told is that it's bad. Look, I don't know what this means. Hello? There it is. Some more Santeria right here. And some more scratch marks throughout the wall. Look at that. Oh my God, I just touched it. I'm not supposed to touch that. There's more right up here. And if you look in the distance there, I could hear something. For a split second, that sounded like somebody crying. Hello? God damn. For a split, I just realized where I'm at. Okay. I couldn't do that one. I just got goosebumps. So if you look in the back there, there's blood. There is red stains on the tomb. On Maria's tomb and Juan's tomb. Holy shit. What the hell did they do in here? Hold on, I'm gonna make it brighter. Jesus Christ, I heard footsteps. Hello? Yeah, fuck it. Hold on. I literally thought somebody was just here. I have to point the other camera in here so you can see the bloodstains on the wall. I don't know what they sacrificed in there, but you can see red streaks of blood. I cannot believe I heard what I just heard. I kind of want to see if I hear it again. Look. This is a better look at the Santeria stuff I was telling you about. There's another one right up here. Look over there. That is blood stains. Now I know human blood turns black That turned black on the side there, right here. I don't see anything though. Remember, this is an abandoned tomb. However, I do believe there's 2 bodies here. So I guess they are being used, but yet it's still abandoned. Look at the hole. That right there. There's stuff in there. Could be more stuff than he. That's it. That definitely sounds like Roy. Was there someone crying in this area when I first looked in here? Stay. I am staying for you. Yo voy a quedar aquí. I am getting cold chills right now. Like it just got really cold. Third. ¿Quién fui llorando aquí? Me oí alguien llorando. I can hear it again.
Help. Mansion.
Help mansion. ¿Quién necesita ayuda? Hello?
36.
Tú puedes oírlo. I mean, what am I saying? I'm sorry. You could hear it, but it's very low.
Bed. Sink.
The K2 is spiking.
Electric.
That has not stopped. That has never been so consistent as it is. And as you hear it, it just goes missing. It's just throwing words out like crazy. I don't know how accurate it is. I'm going to leave that up to you guys.
This is a Flowdesk commercial. What's Flowdesk? It's a platform where you can design unique emails to grow your business. Just ask Mary of the Five Marys Ranch. She uses Flowdesk to reach thousands of customers and keep the orders rolling in. Flowdesk, design emails people love to get.
Get to the root of hair loss with personalized treatments through Hims.
At Lundberg Family Farms, when we find ducks' nests in our fields, we hand carry their eggs to safety. In fact, we've saved over 30,000 of the fuzzy little quackers. And if we care this much about ducks, imagine how much we care about our rice. We grow your favorite varieties from jasmine to sushi rice without GMOs or herbicides. Lundberg Family Farms, ducking good rice. Find us at your favorite stores or buy directly from our farm at lundberg.com.
I'm actually going to look around this area to make sure it's safe.
Finish. Peak.
Finish peak. All right, let me go ahead and stop this. Right now, I've made it to an area where the people buried in this specific location is people who've taken their lives. This whole area here is everyone who's took their lives pretty much the wrong way. Self-delete. I'm sure you guys catch the drift. I just seen a baggie in there. I'm not touching that. I'm gonna actually check this way over here. On my vlog channel, I ended up going to the top of that very mountain that I'm always showing you guys. That it's like very dangerous, and you can see this entire graveyard, which was surreal, being able to see that. I don't know why, but tonight I feel a little bit more nervous than I usually am. You don't have to be afraid to talk with me. This is just corridors and corridors. of tombs. I just hate the corners that this place has. There's so many freaking corners. Listen. Let me put the radio on my neck. I just switched over to my other camera. It has a better viewing lens at night, so I don't really have to have a flashlight turning on, and everybody kind of knows my position. I know it looks... Oh, there's somebody here. I almost missed that too. I heard a noise coming from one of these little rooms here. So as I was saying, I know the quality looks a little bit bad, but it's much safer for me. I walked from this point over here to the right. Definitely saw somebody walking. At this point now, I made my way around the whole facility. I did not want to deal with that. And I found my way to another side, like behind that area that I was just at. But holy crap, this place is so surreal. It's like I'm in a huge, I always say this in every video, but it's literally like I'm in a labyrinth. Look at this. This is where I'm at. And this is where I'm going to be going. Should be a wall here. And down this area. It's going to help me get closer to the kids' area. I'm actually still right near the area where people are taking their lives, and they're pretty much buried around this area. It's a pretty big section. Nobody comes around these areas. Last person scribbled a bit of a line there. You can see the amount of dust that is not even well kept through here. Look at this. That looks like a child. The creepiest picture of Virgin Mary. I'm getting a laughing. Okay. I don't want to go back because the only way to get to this area is a whole mile walk to the other side. Mile walk to the other side. Mile walk to the other side. The only way to get to this area is a whole mile walk to the other side. Mile walk to the other side. Mile walk to the other side. What the hell is that? That is so freaking creepy. That literally just gave me chills down my spine hearing that. What the? I'm still hearing it. I'm gonna turn off my light. I think it's too late. I should have turned that off a long time ago. Let me turn off my green light. He's laughing. I can't tell if it's coming from here or over here. What? Holy shit. running. Right over here sounds like somebody running. I'm gonna turn on the light. Screw it. I'm literally hearing what sounds like somebody running. And it sounds like they're barefoot. I'm gonna watch my left side here. Just in case. I'm at this door.
Muscle Mills, handpicked from our family farms.
Or something. He told me to go inside. I'm gonna go this way. Thank God this place is like a maze. Shit. I didn't want to be spotted by anybody. I wanted this to be kind of like I go in and investigate and get the fuck out. The thing is, I thought what I was looking at was the same thing I saw at Gregorius' tomb. That's why I walked up to it, because I thought it was like a ghost or something. I thought it was a fucking person. Oh shit, I know exactly where I'm at. I'm at the area where the tree fell down. I've been around this area a long time ago. This is where I saw the thing running through the roof or whatever. Oh man, that was too close for comfort there. The thing is, I'm literally by myself out here, and the last thing I need to do is run into some random dude. He looked kind of tall too. I do have my pepper spray on me, but it's like the good stuff, like the police graded ones. All right, I'm gonna still keep my. All right. It's like pretty much for devil worshiping. That happened in this tomb right here. This is an abandoned tomb. Hello? Up too bright. There we go. Whoa. It was built in 1878. This tomb apparently has a lot of demons that hide here and stay strong in this area. So I am going to be doing an SLS and probably a spirit box. No me molestan, pero si alguien estás aquí, tú puedes hablar conmigo. Hace un ruido. I'm saying, don't bother me. But if there's someone here, can you do a sound so I know that you're there? What the hell was that? Look at those angels. When you see them crying, they're actually called lloronas. Something was here, it looks like a stain. Oh, look. That. Right there's the chicken. There's probably a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to keep the camera as still as I can. See it? Now, I was told that this is where they do Satana, like Satan. They would worship Satan and sacrifice things here. And you can see all the feathers on the floor. See that? All those feathers are from other chickens. Just being here alone, I'm already getting a cold breeze. I feel almost a bit weird, like, I don't know. You ever notice when you feel like kind of queasy? ¿Alguien más aquí conmigo? ¿Tú puedes decirte mi nombre o dime tu nombre? Cuando yo sabe que yo no está aquí solito? Pretty much saying, can you say my name or can you tell me your name so I know that I'm not here alone? I want to check out the bottom tomb now. This is where it gets dangerous, and I got to be careful what I touch because there's a lot of Santeria. Santeria, aka pretty witchcraft or little rituals that were done here. don't know what they are, but what I'm told is that it's bad. Look, I don't know what this means. Hello? There it is. Some more Santeria right here. Some more scratch marks throughout the wall. Look at that. Oh my God, I just touched it. I'm not supposed to touch that. There's more right up here. If you look in the distance there, I could hear something. For a split second, that sounded like somebody crying. Hello? God damn. For a split, I just realized where I'm at. Okay, that couldn't be that one. I just got goosebumps. So if you look in the back there, there's blood. There's red stains on the tomb, on Maria's tomb and Juan's tomb. Holy shit. What the hell did they do in here? Hold on, I'm gonna make it brighter. Jesus Christ, I heard footsteps. Hello? Yeah, fuck it. Hold on. I literally thought somebody was just here. I have to point the other camera in here so you can see the blood stains on the wall. I don't know what they sacrificed in there, but you can see red streaks of blood. I cannot believe I heard what I just heard. I kind of want to see if I hear it again. Look. This is a better look at the Santeria stuff I was telling you about. There's another one right up here. Look over there. That is blood stains. Now I know human blood turns black, and that turned black on the side there, right here. don't see anything. Now remember, this is an abandoned tomb. However, I do believe there's 2 bodies here. So I guess they are being used, but yet it's still abandoned. Look at the hole. That right there. There's stuff in there. Could be more stuff than he. Listen. That definitely sounds like Roy. Was there someone crying in the